today's session on covering my book, The Little Pocket of Confidence, and this is the 10 Golden Steps. I'm only going to be covering one of the chapters today because I've written this book. It's been in the making for the last 10 years or so, and the reason I wrote this book is because early in my life I had struggles with my confidence. Just because I'm here today, I was a bit nervous today because it's the first time I've done live a presentation like this on Facebook Live. So if you're feeling nervous about certain situation in your life, that's totally understandable. They've got people here from the UK, they've got people from Bengal, from India, which is fantastic. So thank you, and thank you for joining. So I'm a life coach as well as a martial art coach and an author. As well as that, I actually have been doing coaching for the Mind charity. And this is a mental health charity in the UK for 5 years. As well as that, I'm a father and a husband. So all these things add up to some of my experiences of supporting individuals out there in terms of boosting their confidence. Courage is something that you can work on. I don't believe that you're automatically born with courage. Each day in your life you can, it's like a muscle, you can work on it day to day, week by week, month by month, year on year. But as soon as you stop using your muscle, guess what? You start becoming weaker, you're not as strong. I'm going to talk about one of the stories and fables in my book. It's called The Lion and the Hyena. So it was another hot day on the plains of the African savannah. The wildebeest grazed in their thousands, interspersed with zebra, antelope and gazelles. A line of elephants took their turn at the watering hole, with the bull elephants taking large trunk full of water and spraying their backs to cool themselves from scorching sun. Close by there were two figures hidden under the shadow of a large tree overlooking this spectacle. One of them was a tall elderly tribesman who was a grandfather, and his name was Jabari, and he sat with his grandson Diallo. The grandfather was the chief of the local tribe, and he was out with his grandson and telling stories and the hunts that he used to do when he was a young man. Diallo listened attentively so he could learn from his grandfather's wisdom. Now let me explain why I'm telling you this story. Jabari means fearless or valiant, and the grandson name Diallo means brave one. My wife Jyoti has done some of these fantastic drawings, and the front drawing of the lion is by Chandni, my daughter, who's a fantastic and talented artist, which is awesome. Okay, so Jabari and Diallo noticed a lion and a hyena were also roaming the plains. The grandfather spoke in a calm and soothing voice and told his grandson, "The lion is brave and courageous beast, and the hyena is cunning. The hyena is also a strong beast that can cause problems for the lion and to the man, since hyenas are very strong when they hunt in large packs." Diallo asked his grandfather who would win in a fight, the hyena or the lion. The grandfather replied, "The one that would win is the one who's the stronger in heart and mind." So stronger in heart and mind. So bear that in mind for later discussions. The grandfather responds, "A large, fit lion would always win a fight against one hyena. However, this same lion would lose if for one brief second he doubted his own strength and abilities, and he would be overcome by and be weakened by the cackling sounds of the hyena and its evil stare." Now, when hyenas hunt in large packs, and even a brave lion is no match for them, the grandfather said, "In our hearts, we are all lions. But when people laugh and mock us, we become timid and scared, and our courageous hearts change, and they become like a young deer, soon to become hyenas. So soon to become overcome by hyenas of this world." So the purpose of this story is that we are brave lions, all of us. And sometimes the hyenas out there are those individuals in the world that might bring you down, the negative individuals. So think about all the people in your life that have held you back and you've allowed them to control your future. Now, are you going to continue to do that journey and allow them to take away your future? Because at the end of the day, it's your life and you can determine its future. But you have to keep on believing in yourself. And it's really important that you each day of your life, you take positive steps forward. And these hyenas out there will knock you. It could be the fact you didn't get a job interview. It could be a neighbor. It could be a relative that's saying, well, why on earth do you want to succeed in life? Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? And if you keep on listening to those negative voices, it's going to really bring you down. So it's important you continue to believe in yourself and get focused moving ahead. Motivation stories I want to relate to is Braveheart. I am William Wallace. I see a whole army of countrymen here in defiance of tyranny. You have come to fight as free men, and free men you are. What you do without freedom, will you fight? And someone in the crowd says, 2,000 against 10? No, we will run and live. Yes, Wallace shouted. Fight and you may die. Run and you will live at least a while. And dying in your bed many years from now, would you be willing to trade all the days from this date to that for one chance? Just one chance to come back here as young men and tell our enemies that they will make our lives, but they will never take our freedom. And that freedom speech is true today and every single day of your life. Who's going to take your freedom away? Who's going to take your dreams and goals away? And you have to have courage. And that courage is not about massive amounts of courage. It's small steps along the way, and it's small chunks. And it's trying to figure out what it is that holds you back. What are the fears that I've got? Fear of rejection, fear of being judged, fear of change. Yeah, fantastic. Fear of spiders, fear of heights and animals, fear of darkness, fear of failure. We've had that. Fear of closed spaces, fear of heights again, fear of public speaking. I was scared of public speaking. I still get a few nerves and sort of butterflies in my stomach. But because you need some form of motivation, your motivation to do something when you're fearful has to be greater than the fear itself. So think about what is it that's going to motivate you. Most people are going to sort of towards something or away from something. So figure out how you function as an individual. What's the motivation that's going to drive you? Is it for more money to do something differently? Is it to help your family? Is it a passionate way of doing things in your life? You figure out what it is. The brain learns in different ways. There's 3 brain changes that support learning, and these are ones that changes chemical signals in your brain. Those that alter its structure, and lastly, those that have functional changes. So you have to create new habits, and these new habits that you do. If you're used to being scared or not sort of facing any personal challenge that you have in front of you, you have to create new neuron pathways in your brain. So this is what's called neuroplasticity. This is by Dr. Lara Boyd, a brain researcher from British Columbia. And they say that you have to create new neurons, new pathways by creating these habits. And the more times you do this, the better it is for your brain to learn. And for example, if you're learning tennis, a martial art, a guitar, if you only have one lesson a week and you only do that for a couple of weeks, it's understandable you're not going to be able to learn those new habits. But if you regularly train, if you regularly exercise that brain, exercise that courage muscle, then you will get better day by day at the moment. And I sincerely hope that you gain the courage for yourself and you make those changes that are going to make a better future for you. Face your fears and do what it takes in order for you to be a lot happier and support your family. Stay safe, keep well, and I'll see you next week. Take care, guys.